Hello, everybody. Happy Thursday night and happy All-Star weekend for all of those of you who are basketball fans like I am. Yeah, Super Bowl last weekend. It's All-Star weekend. So don't call me, don't text me, don't ask me for shit on Saturday night because you ain't getting it because I got things to watch. That's all I got to say. That's
All right.
it.
Like that. I mean, it is Turn Up Thursday. You know what I'm saying? Free, free weekend. We're getting it in early. How's
Love
everybody doing
that.
this evening? Hope everybody have a good day. How are you doing?
I'm good. How did you feel about the Super Bowl win?
Oh, you know what? I mean, it wasn't a good game. It was a blowout. But either way, a black quarterback won, so I'm happy.
That part. And you see how he gave his black queen love? I was all about it. I was like, okay, black love. Okay, black love. Loved every moment of it. Definitely a blowout. Wasn't surprised. I took a horrible bet though, and I should have just taken what I wanted, which was the over and Philly to cover the plus. They were giving them plus 1.5. I knew that was going to happen. I was going to do it straight up and the over, but oh well, my bet lost. Not important. We move on. I'm not upset or anything. But we're here. How's your week been, twins?
The week has been good. No complaints at all. No, all is well. No complaints. Everything's good. Life is good. Kids are
I love
good.
that for
I'm
you.
good.
Love that for you. Yeah, I'm looking forward to going to Tulum. It was a huge snowstorm yesterday in Toronto. Quite a big snowstorm, but I actually was outside. I actually went outside. I was at the Raptors game. I was outsiding, so I was like, "Okay, girl, do your thing." But it was awful. But I am here. We are here. Let's get to it. So, today's show is simply called "What Would You Do?" And so, I encourage the audience to also pipe in as you usually are. I see Jeff is in the building. I see King's Cash Court is in the building. Welcome, gentlemen. Thank you for joining. If you're in the building, let us know that you're here. So we are first going to play a scenario. It was a question that was posed on another show. And again, we would love to hear your comments on that. And then we'd love for you to post scenarios as well in the chat. So Jeff is saying the Chiefs played like a bunch of patty. For those of you who do not know what patty woo-ha means on the show, it's P-U-S-S-Y. P-U-S-S-Y. So that's what he's saying the Chiefs played like. P-U-S-S-Y. So I have no comments to that. Go Philly, go. That's a, we'll leave that alone. That is hilarious. What did you guys, before I move on, what did everybody think of the halftime show?
It was a good show. There was a lot of messages in it, so no complaints from me.
I love that. I appreciated it. I mean, as a Torontonian, as a Drake fan, there are moments in the show that we were a little stiff-faced for. Outside of that, I appreciate the symbolism. What I always find funny, however, is the fake wokeness that happens after something like that, of people like, oh, the symbolism, and those of you who don't get the symbolism, like, it's just like, listen, people are allowed to like it. They're allowed not to like it. They're allowed to not see the symbolism. You're allowed to see the symbolism. This is live. Some people just want to watch an entertaining thing. Some people don't care. Like, get over it with the fake wokeness from some people online. That I couldn't stand. But other than that, come through Serena as she crypt walk all over that song because Drake is her ex, just in case you guys missed the connection. But we digress. We move on. So again, tonight, what would you do? I'm about to play the clip, and then we're going to talk about this one. Twins and I had quite a conversation back and forth when he sent me this clip, and I am very interested to know what everybody thinks in the chat. So give me one moment. Here we go.
There's a woman, she wrote into our show rather, that she and her husband, they're approaching their 5th wedding anniversary or I guess marriage anniversary, sorry. And she said, life together is good, not perfect, but they make ends meet. They work hard. They have a modest lifestyle. They have 2 young children, ages 1 and 4. Recently, she discovered something that she describes as shocking. Her husband's card and comic book collection, something he's guarded since they met, is worth $2.5 million. He's been collecting for over 25 years, a passion he inherited from his late father, and he still holds on to some of his dad's collection. When she brought up selling it, thinking of all the ways they could improve their family's life, he refused, saying the collection isn't about money, but more so about emotional value. To him, it's a legacy he plans to pass down to their children. Now she's struggling with reality that they're sitting on a fortune, yet still living paycheck to paycheck. Should she accept his emotional attachment, or does he owe it to their family to cash in? What would you guys do? Is he being unreasonable, or should sentimental value come before financial security? I'll go last.
Okay, so according to her, they're living paycheck to paycheck. Not like they're behind on finances.
She said they live modestly, you know, they make ends meet, but from what I gather, it's like maybe there's not a lot of cushion.
So not struggling.
Right.
Not like struggling paycheck to paycheck, but not, she could be doing, or they could be doing better.
Right.
Okay.
I feel like in that case, there can be a compromise here. I think she can leave that man alone until they come to a point where they're struggling, so that he knows that when that time comes, he's going to have to give that up. But for right now, she could leave him alone with his sentimental value.
And his dad's dead, so that's
She probably just came across the value of it.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking she just found out how much it's worth.
Women love to live on somebody else's shit, bro. This is fucking crazy. I just don't get it. I mean, my thing is, that collection is his collection, passed down from his father. Also, in addition to whatever he's been able to acquire, although they're not struggling, they could live better. They could be thriving. But I don't think that he should sacrifice it right now. Don't make no sense. He's going to sacrifice it. My thing is, one, you were cool until you found it. Like, there was no fucking issues, right? Now you find something that is his, that is worth some money, and now you want for him to cash out so he can, I guess, provide more.
That's the sentimental value that's going to be passed on. So now you're basically taking that away from your kids.
But to play devil's advocate, at some point the shit got to get sold.
It would really be up to him, and like having a desire to do more for his family, having a desire for his family to, you know, do more than live paycheck to paycheck. Because at some point, as an adult, you have to make tough decisions to support the family that you've created. You know, you can't be out here telling John that, oh, we can't send you to that math camp because we ain't got it, but you sitting on $2.5 million of comic book, but you don't want to send your son to math camp, or you don't want to, you know, invest in whatever their future is. I think as his wife, I would have more of an issue with that part. Like if the kids are going without something in some sort of way, versus her just, oh, I think we need that money. Hey guys, if you enjoyed that clip, make sure you check out the full episode on.
We're done with that. Before I let twins jump in, let me just say, Rico is sick of this shit. That response was just like, I'm sick of this shit. I'm sick of all y'all shit. This is some fucking bullshit. Like that's literally Rico's response to that. I'm gonna start, and I'm gonna say this. Let me tell you something. I wish somebody would tell me that I must sell something that my daddy had left me for no other purpose than you want to live better. And I'm also going to say, I think that woman exaggerated their situation to make it worse than it is. No man sitting on a $2.5 million comic book collection is struggling. Let's just be very clear. When she said they live paycheck to paycheck, people assume that their paychecks are low. They could be living on a combined $12,000 a month paycheck for all we know. It is clear she wants to live better than they're currently living, and she now wants this man to sell $2.5 million for what? 1 and 4 are the ages of the children. By the time that 1-year-old gets to, say, 21 in 20 years, with inflation, that thing could be worth potentially $5 million. Who knows what it could be worth? So she's really thinking about the future of those children. She should be thinking about, let's put this away for safekeeping so that they have something when it's time for them to go to college. We won't have to worry about anything. My children will be taken care of. We can invest into land to those children, not let me sell it now for short-term gain. Ridiculous. Twins, and then I'll put up what Jeff said.
Ooh, there's a lot to unpack here, right? A lot to unpack here. This is a prime example of women wanting to live in the moment. They want to live in the moment. Don't think about tomorrow, the future. They just want to live better now. I need it now. I want it now, right? This is another prime example of a woman not having her own hobby.
Sorry.
It's a fact. This is another prime example of women not leaving a legacy for their kids. This is I can go on for days with this clip here. It just hit on so many nerves. You know, you can put Jeff's comment up because that comment is spot on, and it's funny. It's off. It's okay when it was just sitting there. He was collecting it, buying XYZ. But once you realize it's worth X amount of dollars, you know what I'm saying? Now it's a big issue. The way they talked about it, they make it seem like they're homeless. They're eating water, drinking water.
Eating water.
They're drinking water and bread only in the house. The kids are freezing. It's like, no.
I can't.
No. And like we're gonna say, like you always want to live with someone else. I get it. We're a couple, we married, we got kids, we got family responsibilities, right? But once again, you didn't know it was worth that money until either he told you about it or you looked it up, whatever, and now it's a problem. Now he need to make a decision. It's gonna be sold sooner or later. Man, shut the hell up. Once again, his dad started a collection and gave it to him. Like, that's sentimental value right there. And then 2, he wanted to keep that for his kids.
Thank you.
Like, that's creating generation wealth.
Thank you.
It may be more. If it's worth $2 million now, it could probably be worth 10 or 20 later on.
Thank you.
It depends who wants it. Somebody might want it, and they'll pay whatever it takes to get it because they got the money. But it's just the unpacking of the fact that it should be a partnership when it comes to relationship and marriages. It shouldn't just be the man. He need to do this. What are you doing, right? Now, granted, it's good to have. If emergency would happen, then they will be good. But that'll probably be his last resort. And as you said, well, they're not poor. They're not. I mean, yes, things might be tight, but they're not struggling. Lights and bills and getting cut off. Now, granted, we'll know the full story, and I would love to hear their point of view, like the husband and wife. I have to hear them talk about the situation and, you know, her thought and his thought. I love to hear that. You know what I'm saying? But once again, it just to me think levels we can go down this route. You can ask away how we can talk about this, but it just, once again, it kind of touches a nerve with me because, especially in the Black community, our women are the main reason why a lot of Black families doesn't have generational wealth, because of stuff like that. And not just the card. When you think about divorce, you know, most of us, you know, we didn't have, like, I'll use me for example. My mom and dad didn't have nothing handed down to them, so they worked hard for whatever they got, right? So my dad passed away. There was nothing he left for me and my brother because he didn't have it. He was poor, right? He was so poor we couldn't afford the other R. It was POR. But he did what he had to do, or did what he could do, right? So now we fast forward to me. I was married, right? And I was building generation wealth, and I got divorced. And even in my own divorce process, and in my attorney, like, I shouldn't do this, but I was thinking about my kids and their generation wealth. I was willing to let my wife keep the house and live in it. And my mortgage at the time was only $1,700 a month. I was going to offer her, hey, you just give me $1,200 next year. So the first year, I'll still take care of X, Y, Z. But after that 1 year, you gotta give me $1,200. I'll take care of the yard and blah blah blah. I'll pay the rest of the mortgage, whatever. Not because I wanted to keep that. Oh, I did want to keep the house because I was thinking about the kid generation wealth. Because selling a house, I got good money for it at that time. But imagine what I'd have got for it 20.
Yeah.
By the time our kids hit 18 or 21 when they go to college. Okay, we could have sold the house at that time frame and cashed out and paid for their school and XYZ or whatever it may be. All I'm saying is that generation wealth that I was building for them, of course, I'm doing all over again, but it just takes it away. And it's like women, and I can see why men in this era don't want to get married, because it's like you work so hard to build up where you at and what you're trying to do, but at one given moment, they can take it all away and you start from scratch. But I'll stop for a minute because I'm going to go off the deep end or whatever. Go ahead.
No, I appreciate that. And I do see the comment, Manisa. I hope I pronounced your name correctly. I'm going to put that up shortly. But I think the key to this is don't be short-sighted, right? There is sometimes, we talk about people living in the popcorn generation, right? Like people just want, like you said, the right now. And I'm thinking about, if you really are thinking about these kids, you will hold off for as long as you possibly can until those kids actually need it. And as I know how expensive it is to be in the US and go to university. And if you want your kids to have a good life, guess what? That money is going to make sure that they have a free ride to university. They can be and do whatever they want. They can choose how they decide what to do to that money. The husband could decide to sell half and give half to the kids. There's so much that can happen, but this idea that we are struggling, girl, you're not. Like, trust me, as a woman who has been known to exaggerate some shit, okay, those two people, they're not struggling, they're doing just fine. So we're done with that. Please think about what it is that you are going to do when you're looking at, to Twin's point, breaking what could be the creation of generational wealth. So I'm gonna put up, and again, I think it's probably Monica. Monica, I'm hoping, let me know, thumbs up if that is. That's actually my mother's name. My mother's name is Monica, spelled a little bit different. So for now, until you tell me different, your name is Monica. So the question is, what's your thoughts on people who avoid taking accountability? Well, my first thought is run. Twins?
What are your thoughts on people who avoid accountability? Whew. Well, it depends on what, right? What are we talking about, right? But yes, if it's like, yes, run, of course, because nobody want to take accountability. You don't want them headaches. You want to be around somebody who could take accountability, right? But someone who doesn't take it or try to deflect it, yeah, you want to avoid that at all costs.
Yeah, I think, here's my thing. I don't even know if I care what it's about. Sorry, my headphones are giving issues today, guys, so I hope you can hear me. But I don't even care what the accountability is about. The fact that you can't take accountability on a small thing means you won't take accountability on a larger thing, right? And I think one of the things you have to question is, are they not taking accountability because in their mind, they're not wrong for whatever the situation might be? Because taking accountability requires acknowledging a part you played in a situation. That's the first part. Like, that's really accountability. If I summed it up, that's what accountability is. I'm acknowledging the role I played in whatever the situation is that we are discussing. So if I can't see what role I played in something, to me, it's like, okay, then I can't deal with you. Because if you can't even look internally and acknowledge, hey, I might have effed up here, I would say, Monica, and thank you for the thumbs up. It means that I'm pronouncing it right. I would say, Monica, run. Whether that's a friendship, whether that's a partnership, because again, that just spirals. And the lack of accountability, and I hate this word, it's what the kids use these days, but a lack of accountability is actually a sign of narcissism. If you were to look it up, that's actually one of it, is a sign of narcissism. It's the inability to really look within oneself and feel like they're wrong about something. And nobody wants to have a relationship in any way, romantic or otherwise, with a narcissist. I'm going to pause here for a second and let those of you who are new to the show know I do have the link in the comment section. It's pinned at the top. So if you do want to come on and ask a question and join the show, you simply just click on the link. It will say, click here. You can come backstage. I will let you in and we can have this discussion. And Monica said, oh, wow. Yeah. Yeah.
I'll
My
say
degree's in
this.
psychology. I break this stuff down. Go ahead, Twins.
I'll say this: when you think about the topic or the lady about the guy with the cards, right? At this point now, I feel kind of bad for him now, right? Because now he's between a rock and a hard place. Because if he doesn't do anything based to her liking, right, as far as cashing out or whatever it may be, she may try to, if they get divorced, she gonna bring that $2.5 million card up into the divorce, even though it was something he had prior to. But once you people who have been married or know about married people, doesn't matter. Once you marry, that becomes joint, that becomes shared. So even though he don't want to cash out on it based on sentimental value, he could be forced to do that. If you didn't know that, ladies and gentlemen, you can be forced to split some stuff.
Just split the assets. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I kind of feel bad for him now but she doesn't have any accountability. Not at all.
That is a good point. If that woman, going back to the first scenario, Monica, I'm going to get to that one shortly. Going back to the first scenario, yeah, if she decides that she no longer wants to live the lifestyle that she's living and she knows that man is sitting on $2.5 million, the quickest way to ensure that he gets rid of that is to file for divorce. And it is a marital asset. Unless his lawyer is crafty and finds some way to exclude that from the marital assets, and with a crafty lawyer you possibly can, but most lawyers are really not that crafty, I feel like, in divorce. And so that man could absolutely be forced to sell that, and then she gets 50% of what him and his father, and that's what leads some people to be on Snapped.
And
That's
also,
all I'm gonna say.
And before you go ahead, and ladies and gentlemen, if she do go to court, she can say financial abuse, because she want to be living a certain type of way. She feel that he could be doing more, and she's gonna bring that up. It's a cold world out here. Like, a lot of stuff I would never know about that stuff until I got my divorce. But yeah, financial abuse is a thing that can be used so you can get scored. But good, I'm done.
Mental abuse is actually a real thing. Monica, she asked, what about someone who does you wrong and you confront them and address them, but they still won't take accountability? Absolutely a narcissist. She has the following question: is that a narc? Absolutely. Absolutely. Because here's the thing about accountability. And I'm just going to speak from Toshiba's perspective. Just because I didn't intend to harm you doesn't mean I didn't harm you. So I'm going to repeat. Just because I did not intend to harm you doesn't mean I did not harm you. So if I have said something disparaging, which I might find, you know what, twins should be able to handle that, right? You know what, in my culture, we say this all the time. So if I say this to twin, not a big deal. But if twin says, yo, Toshiba, you know that was mad disrespectful, right? Like, I know what y'all do in your little Jamaican culture over there. That was mad disrespectful. I don't get to say to twins, well, I didn't mean to disrespect you. My bad that you took it like that. I'm going to have to stop and say, you know what? You're right. You're right. I actually apologize. I shouldn't have said it like that. And we can have, this is me taking accountability. It doesn't matter if I meant to disrespect him. The fact that he says, I felt disrespected by what you said or what you did That's also part of taking accountability. And if we can't even do that after someone has pointed it out, listen, I used to date someone who was like that, and I had to cut it. I had to cut it because we were not going to do this back and forth scenario. Because the thing about that, Monica, what's so funny about people like that is they are quick to call you out when you do something wrong.
So let me ask you this. So same question Monica put up. So Monica, so when you dealing with a person, right, that doesn't take accountability, right? How long or how many times are you gonna keep entertaining that? When are you gonna take accountability to know to either walk away from that situation?
Look at twins coming with it tonight.
A shot at you at all. It's just a question because we all been in a relationship with people, and we want to say they don't take accountability, and sometimes people don't. My question is, how long are you gonna let it keep going before you take accountability and step away from it? Just a question.
That's a great question, Monica, and we certainly hope you answer that. I have to say for myself, if I'm going to answer that, I am a 3 strikes and you're out person, right? Especially when you're in the early stages of getting to know each other, right? Because things are going to happen and miscommunications are going to happen. You're just getting to know each other. And so, again, with cultural differences and all of these different things can easily be misconstrued. But if you have an open and honest relationship and you say, hey, to the other person, you know what, I found that disrespectful. Please don't do that moving forward. I've told you once, okay? They do something again, and you just give them a quick reminder. Hey, remember the talk that we had like a month or two ago, however long ago? You did it again. I'd really appreciate you not doing it again. By the third time, no. Because either you're not listening to me or you don't care. And either way, I'm done.
Mm-hmm. A lack of respect. Yeah.
It's one of those two.
Definitely one of those two. So, yeah.
So for me, it's 3 times. Now, the 3 times could be over 3 days, 3 months, 3 years, but it's 3 times. And I'm out.
Oh.
But I'm also quick to, I'm a walk away queen. Like my peace and everything is more important. I'm not holding on for kids. I'm not holding on for anything. I cannot deal with somebody who doesn't listen or doesn't care about me. And people's actions and Monica, and I think that's one of the things we want to add on to what Twins is saying. This person's nonverbal communication is actually telling you more than their verbal communication. Because lack of accountability is actually a nonverbal. They may not say, I don't give 2 shits about your feelings. Fuck your feelings. Hello, welcome to the show. Right? They may never utter those words. It may never come out of their mouth. But the reality is their actions keep showing you over and over again, you know what? They don't care about me. So why am I sticking around to entertain someone whose actions are displaying that they don't care about me? So I love what Twin said. As the person who feels that the person you're dealing with lacks accountability, when do you take accountability for the fact that you're staying in that situation? And you're welcome. Monica, we'll just put this up. Monica says thank you. And you're welcome. That's what we hear for this grown adult, keeping it real discussion. Let me actually go back because I'm going to think about a scenario here. Is it ever too soon to walk away? Because if I'm open and honest, that has been my issue in the past. I think I'm so comfortable being by myself, being at peace with myself, that for me, it's like the moment I see a ripple in my tide, I'm like, oh, don't like this. I'm going to matrix out of this situation because I could potentially see where that's going. I'd love to hear from you, Twins, and for those of you in the chat. Is there a point where it could be too early to walk away?
Man, that's really hard to say, because if you leave too early, it comes off you being a runner. You know, you don't want
I'm
to
a
do
runner. I'm a track star.
it.
Sorry.
But I do understand, it's all about your peace, right? I think everyone's entitled to have their peace and know what they're going to deal with and what they're not going to deal with, right? And I would say at this point in our so mature ages that we are, we have seen or been around and been in relationships, so we know certain things we're just not going to entertain with, right? So, I mean, at our age, I think that's fair. If someone comes at you a certain way, don't respect the boundaries, it's like, you know what, it was nice. We're gonna keep it moving, and I'm okay with that because there's no need for you to end on bad terms, right? Because if you stay there, right, and you go through whatever, it kind of go back to accountability. So you knew you knew it was going the wrong way, but you stuck around to see if maybe change or X, Y, Z, and now you finally break up, and now you mad at the person right now. But you if you looked in the mirror and took accountability a long time ago, you wouldn't have been there. So it goes both ways, right? With time, maturity, experience, you should be at a point where you can know right away if you're gonna be with somebody. And ladies, it's like right away if you're gonna sit with a guy the first day or not. It's the same thing.
You said a word, and Jack, I'm gonna get to what you're saying. And yes, Jeff, we welcome Monica to the show. Please come back. Sometimes I'm here alone, girl, by myself. I'm an island by myself with all these men. So come back. Welcome and come back. You said the B word, boundaries. And I think that's the key part, right? I would never say that I walk away before I've let people know my boundaries. I'm like, here are my boundaries. And if your tippy toe steps on the line of the boundaries, I'm not even having you step over. Like, we're not going to do that. Because to me, once you step over, you can't come back. So I think that's the key, is it doesn't matter necessarily how fast you walk away or run away. In my case, sometimes I'd be Speedy Gonzalez out of here. It has to be, you had to have set down the boundaries as a foundation and saying, this is what I consider non-negotiables when dealing with me. Like, one of my number one non-negotiables is disrespect. Like, I don't do disrespect through words, through actions. I'm not about it. And a man who can't regulate his emotions. And I had to learn that from somebody I was dealing with. And I was like, yeah, this is an issue I have, because I had a father who was in such control of his emotions. Like, when I say in the 42 years I experienced my daddy, I had never seen that man angry once. And he had 7 girls, 7 of us, that poor man, right? So I had never seen him angry once. And so dealing with someone who can't regulate their emotions for me is difficult, because I'm like, my daddy wasn't like that. So I think that's key. Jack says, I'll admit I've given 3 strikes to people deserving, 1 strike to those deserving, 7 and 9 to those deserving, 3, but hey, turn back the hands of time and I wouldn't change a thing. Jeff says, if it's too blatant with the disrespect or lack of accountability, I don't think there's too quick of a time to walk away with that. I agree. I am the disrespect, as I just said. And we seem to have somebody in, Mr. Yo, Brethren, I was wondering where the hell you were.
I'm right here.
Mr. I was wondering where the rocket you were and why you were not doing the show tonight. Mr. For those of you, he's like family here, so this is how we talk to family. I'm Jamaican, let me be. What's going on, Mr.?
I'm just out here being late because I'm black.
I'm glad you're still black.
You're not late, eat right on time.
Yeah.
The food is cooked, the food is done, it's sizzling, it's already marinated. Come and get you a plate.
Listen, it's Black History Month. Exactly, it's Black History Month. We can be out here doing what we want to do, okay? Shit, what's going on? What's going on with you? Let's talk.
I'm glad somebody finally acknowledged Black History Month. Everybody's.
Oh, yeah, you guys can't do that, right? Listen, I'm in Canada, right? We over here in Canada. We're fine. You need to come over here to Canada, because it is Black History Month over here. They could never tell us here that we can't have no Black History Month. I'm sorry for you guys. I'm
Pot
sorry.
over there.
The borders are open. You can feel free. If you're single, I've got some ladies for you. You know, no, you can 90-day fiance the other way over here to Canada. We got you. Hit me up. I'm sorry. I'm telling you, 90-day fiance is a thing. Come over to get. We have universal health care. I mean, we pay about 33% in taxes overall, no matter how much money you make. But you get universal health care. There's some good dental
Look at
benefits.
you selling it out. Look at you overselling. Okay.
Listen, I'm telling you, I got some real cute girlfriends here. They cook, they clean, they're West Indian and African. So, you know, we good over here. They don't have many kids. I got some who don't have kids. I got some who got like one kid, right? If you make under a certain amount, your kids can go to school for free. The education system is much better than yours. Come on over. The borders are open because you guys got 4 years of that bullshit. I'm just saying, sorry.
I don't even know how to respond to that.
I know, right? That was a free advertising plug right there. She's doing in.
Yeah.
Come on over to Canada. I'm telling you, the free. Listen, if I cough right now, I just go to the nearest hospital and they have to see me. There's no where's your health insurance. I show them off a whip card and they bill the government. And that's how I find the ambulance. The government pays for it. You know, it's good over here.
Well, I appreciate that, but I'm not going to stay in the West. As much as I like Canada, I'm not staying over here.
Tell me where you go. Let's talk about it.
$130 rent over in Thailand.
Frederick, when did you get to Thailand?
When did I get to Thailand? I've been a bunch of times. I'm a world traveler.
I know, but you're there right now?
No, I'm not there right now. I'm trying to get back there. I got to take care of some stuff here first.
$130 in Thailand. Huh.
That's right.
Where in Thailand? Bangkok?
No, in Chiang Mai. It's up north, about 10 hours drive from Bangkok. It used to be the capital of Thailand.
My girlfriends were there for not this Christmas, last Christmas. They went to Chiang Mai and a whole bunch of places in Southeast Asia. And they came back just like, it's expensive to get there, but once you're there, they were like, they spent 5 weeks in Southeast Asia, like living their best life. So I get it.
That's exactly it. I stayed there for 2 months at a time.
Good for you. Good for you. I'm planning to escape too. As much as I just love Canada, just because I think it's better than your country, I have no intentions of staying. Even I do. I have no intentions of staying here forever. I am also on the hunt to find a warmer, better, cheaper place where my money can go as far as possible and the people are nicer. But you know, that's another story for another day. Hold on, before Jack is commenting. Jack says, I can't do Canada. These ladies here in Atlanta are already in them Daisy Dukes showing Georgia peaches. You know what, sir? I should know what's coming from you, Jack. So I put up the comment fully knowing there's some bullshit.
What part of Georgia are you at? Where you at?
Yeah, are they out in Daisy Dukes where you're at? What?
I'm just trying to say, you know what I mean? It's been chilly, so I don't know. What part is he at? Or is he going to certain clubs, you know? You know?
You sound like you want to do a drive-by. you want to pull up. You want to pull up and see those cheeks in the Daisy Dukes. No, where you at too? Shit, man. I want one. I might want to do a fly-in. Just saying. Anyways, Mr. Mitchell, let's go back to you. What's going on, sir? How you been?
I am great. I finally accomplished a goal I've been working on for the past year.
Okay.
So I'm very happy about that.
Share it with the family.
It doesn't sound like anything, but it's a big deal. I finally got my quote unquote residency in Texas back.
Nice.
Citizenship.
So
is that a thing?
Did you lose it or something? What happened? I feel like there's more to the story here.
I kind of lost it. as you may or may not remember, I'm originally from New York.
Mm-hmm.
And so but with that said, I've been living in Texas for about 10 years now. But I went back to New York to take care of some stuff and to help a friend of the family with his business. But it required me to switch my license back to New York. So I helped him with his business, helped it grow, and he was all good with that. So it was time to part ways. But I had to switch my license back to Texas because Texas is weird about, I don't know, even though Texas is part of the United States, they act like they're their own country.
They do.
They give you all this hassle just to prove that that you live there, and you got to provide all this documentation, and they make you schedule stuff 3 months in advance before they'll let you do anything. So that went on for like a whole year, and I finally got to take care of that. So now I can buy my land.
Well, that's good. I'm glad you got the residence back.
I love that for you.
Win. But yes, Texas.
I love the buying land. I love the buying land.
Yeah, so I'm just looking at land right now.
It's
see what I'm
Texas
going
was originally Mexico.
Yeah.
I love that for
Pretty
you.
much.
Are you thinking buying it to develop or buying it to hold on to?
To hold on to.
Can you guys hear me? I feel like okay. You want to hold on to it. Okay. I had a friend who you can hear me? Great. I had a friend who bought land in Texas because he knew that the gentrification was going to come to that area. So that's what I would suggest for people. You can actually go so from my understanding, because I know we can do it here in Toronto, you can go to the city and actually go to the office to find out the land, the areas that they plan to gentrify in a certain period of time, and buy land, not maybe in the next area they plan to gentrify, but a couple of areas over, because you know the it's a terrible word. I know gentrification is a terrible word, but the reality is if you have land in that particular area, they'll eventually have to buy it from you because they want to develop it. And so you have basically already pre-purchased land you know you're going to make money from. That is an idea that I put out to people when you're going to buy land.
You got it. They talk about that on Bigger Pockets all the time.
So, quick question here, Mister. So, you're looking to buy some land, right?
Yes.
Do you have kids, or do you want kids, or don't want kids at all?
I want kids, but not right now. I'm definitely going to be an old father. Nothing
wrong with that. And I only said that just to wrap it back into the conversation that we started out with. You know what I'm saying? Because where I'm going,
I know exactly where you're going.
You know what I'm saying? As a man, we planning for things that could be for, just generation. I mean, if you buy land, you don't buy land just that, okay, I got some land. You buy some land, you plan to do something with it, or you plan to give it away, or build a house on it, whatever. The point I'm trying to get is that men are always thinking about the future. Men are thinking about things they can do to better themselves or maybe their family. And the fact that not now, in the future, he'll be married, have kids. He may, like I say, he might be an old dad, which is cool. But what may happen is that his lady dealing with, now he got land. She might do a little research. Hey, that land's worth $10 million. Let's sell it. I'm just saying. And ladies, what are you doing to increase your value or your kids' value in the future? It just can't be all the man, right? Especially in this day and era. It has to be a joint thing. So when we have conversations about what you bring to the table, men are bringing comic. You see, it's funny how they tell me, it's just a comic. Well, that comic's worth $2.5 million. So put some respect on that comic, okay? So stop playing with people. And then number two, right? Mr. He's planning to buy land. So like, when we say we bring to the table, ladies, what are you bringing to your table besides your beauty, your legs, and that sweet thing in the middle? What else? I'm done. And welcome to the stage.
And welcome, Jeff, because I'm sitting
Yes,
here
what's up,
by myself. What's going on, Jeff?
What's going on, y'all?
What's going on?
I'm going to respond before Jeff types in. Let me just respond to what Twin said. And it's a very positive response because you're actually not completely wrong. As women, sometimes we don't have the foresight to think about necessarily what is right in front of us. That's not necessarily a skill set that we all have. And this is why on this show we talk about the importance of changing the conversation around Black relationships. That is why men and women need each other, right? That is why partnership is so important. While I might not be thinking about buying land I'm thinking about it because I just said it, but while some other women might not be thinking about buying land that they know is going to be gentrified in 20 years for the purposes of building generational wealth, a man might be thinking about it. But you, again, what do they say? Buy a house and a woman makes it a home, right? We bring different skill sets, and just because you hear on this show or on other shows, men this, woman this, it's not meant to be an insult. Right? I think we need to get this thing that we're insulting each other. Sometimes it's actually reality. We are built different. Despite the agenda that people want to push, we are actually built different physiologically, mentally, emotionally. We're simply built different because men and women were built for different purposes. So when you come on this platform, other platforms, really listen to understand and not to respond. But I digress. Jeff, what's going on?
Nothing much. I just thought I would chime in on the show. It's been a while since I, chimed in or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I ain't want to be typing and all that. But, it was a good topic and all. Like you just said, a lot of times, and it is not women bashing or things of that nature, but a lot of times, we have, like you said, we have different roles, and sometimes women think in the moment. As far as like men, we kind of looking for like the future and things of that nature. And just goes back to like the original video. It was like I used to collect cards. They at my mom's house somewhere in the storage. I don't know where they are, but those are like a valuable thing. And it's not so much like about the money aspect of it. It's just the fact that you have them, and like you said, it's worth 2.5 now. Who to say what it'll be, in the next 5-10 years? So it's like a collector's item. It's not for get it and cash them in. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So, and the way she just painted the picture, we live in paycheck to paycheck, and like I said, with Rico, it was like, well, it was everything was all good until you find out how much the cars were worth. She probably thought, oh, them old stupid cars, don't nobody know that, And until she found out the value of it, it was like, now, oh, we can do X, Y, and Z. Who to say he's not thinking about the future to like, maybe I can put my kids through college with these. You don't know what his mindset. You just know it's $2.5 million, and we need to cash it out right now.
And that's correct.
And I wanted.
Go ahead.
I also wanted to acknowledge this is touching on the topic that I brought up previously about women presenting themselves as a financial burden on men or a financial liability. This is a big issue, and like Twin said, we do think about the future and plan for the future, and it doesn't benefit us to have someone come into the situation not thinking about any of that and just looking for ways to waste our money.
Live in the moment. But what Jeff was saying, you're right too, Mr. And what Jeff said, like, for example, I have my cards with me, and I have old comic books with me. Now, have I looked to see it worth anything? No, but I do got some good valuable cards. I mean, I don't know how I got them, but I got them. I got a Shaq rookie card, I got Michael Jordan rookie card. I don't know how I got these cards, but I got them. And guess what? I'm passing these cards out to my kids. Now, I'm pretty sure I can look them up and see if I can get something for them. But I know my son, by the time he gets to my age, If he wants some, that's up to him. But at least I want to pass it down to him. So trust me. But like I said, you think it's just regular playing cards is nothing. You sit on a gold mine. But once again, our lifestyle is still okay. Let's not make something more than what it is now just because you found the value of it, right? Think about this. A lot of women be complaining about guys playing their game. But if you knew your man was making X amount of dollar about it, you have no problem from playing that game. So it's funny how money moves you to. But if money's involved with it, go do it, baby. Go and get that money. Go and get that money.
Message.
It's just in today's world. It's just crazy. I'm done.
Ladies, join me. Listen, I cannot disagree. I think one of the keys that as women we struggle with is short-sightedness, right? And I think there's a lot of women who are still, Mr. Is that you? Can you mute? Perfect. I think one of the things that a lot of women are struggling with, even at this big age, is this idea that they wanna keep up with Instagram and TikTok and what they're seeing and what's going on. And ladies, a lot of those people are lying to you. Like a lot of this is lies. It's a lot of lies. Live in your reality. Live in your situation. Stop looking at what Instagram is doing or TikTok or all these different things and live in your reality. Stop being short-sighted about situations. And that V word, can I just talk about that V word, ladies, value? We need to stop taking offense, right, about a man asking about the value that you bring to him. Because we want a valuable man, right? We want a man of value. So a man of value is going to look to see, can this woman come into my life and help to increase my value? Or to Mr. and Mrs. point, is she just going to be a leech and take from me? I don't know anybody, man or woman, who wants a leech in their life. So we need to, when we meet these men, and I talked about it last week, right? When you meet that man who is standing in front of you, who you say is all of these things what you want, if that man puts you in a position where he starts questioning you because he's trying to determine whether, again, you're adding, so are you an asset? Let's talk money. Let's really do this thing. Are you an asset to someone or are you a liability? And if you don't know what those terms are, you probably shouldn't be dating, and please go get a dictionary. I'm just going to pause here, Twin.
I'll just say this. As men, we all know that you're going to want our money and you're going to spend our money, right? We understand.
Absolutely. 100%. I would rather spend your money than spend mine. Yeah.
Like we understand
So,
that.
well,
It's just the fact is like, how say this? Don't abuse it, right? Like we know what it is. We know what we're getting into. So, but don't make it all just about money. I mean, we have feelings, you know what I'm saying? We care. And most of the time we don't care. I tell you this, it's a cheat code, ladies. If you take care of your man, he's gonna do whatever you want him to do. Just
I know that one.
Right. Nothing new, but they don't get it though. I mean, you know what I'm saying? You want this, you want that, but what are you doing? So he want to do that for you. That's the cheat code right there. And it just won't have to be all about sex and all that stuff. It's just about those things. Whatever it is, you find out what he like, you make his life easier, and he's going good. You want that new car, and you making sure he's fed, taken care of, and he's happy. You know what I'm saying? He's going to do whatever he can and get you that car. If you got to work 3 or 4 jobs, do overtime, he's going to do what he got to do. So it is a give and take in a relationship. It's just that simple.
And I'd love to hear from Jeff, the married person right now on this panel. Jeff, I'd love to hear your thoughts on that.
Like Twin said, I totally agree. I mean, we know what we're stepping into. I mean, we are pretty much born and bred. You're gonna be provider. You gotta go and even the Bible says a man's gonna earn his keep by the sweat of his brow. So we got to work, and so we know that. And like you said, if you want this new car, you want these nice things. Hey, when I come home, make sure. Hey, when I come through the door, let me smell that stove. When the the clothes being washed, the kids, like you said, Toshiba, like women making the house the home. The nurturing, taking care of everything. Like, okay, we're gonna do our part, but this day and age, it made me think about this. I saw a clip of the actress Lisa Ray, and she was on Trick Daddy cooking show, and she was like, "Yeah, I need a man. I want a man to pay 100% of the bills," and he was like, "Pay all the bills." He was like, "Well, what are you going?" And she basically was like, "I bring sex to the table." It's
Oh,
like, wow, that's your value. That's all you see yourself as a piece of meat. I'm gonna be a piece of meat, so you got to pay all the bills. You got to put up with all my attitudes and my this and what if it don't work out? So yeah, it's just a mind frame. It's like this is why I like shows like this, and I hope Monica's still on. I hope she comes back. But I was
you
glad to
tell
see
me
another
what.
a female in the chat. But it's like, but like Twin said, we already knew. We already know what we coming into. Just bring something to, just add value. You know, see, be his strength. Like, okay, well, he's lacking. My mom and dad, they were married for 33 years before she passed. I mean, he made the money, bought the cars, and paid the bills. She kind of did the financial work. With paying this, and that. But like he went out and provided. So that's what I saw. That's the model that I use. So be an asset to your mate. Your mate, you're supposed to be a help me. So help me
Mhm.
meet these bills and help me meet these expectations and goals. And that's all.
That's facts.
and and that's all facts, and I love that. And I think what the issue that is really happening is a lot of these women, and I love Lisa Ray, but a lot of these women start to realize like they actually have nothing other than sex to offer, right? But my
Right.
challenge to you as men are just like I talked about early, right? Like how I asked that question: how soon is too soon to cut somebody off? For you gentlemen who are out there and you're assessing, right? You're the one assessing the marketplace, right? Assets, liability, and as you're dating these women, because a lot of the times for women, our investment is our time. We're not investing time and money, right? Men are investing time and money and effort and again the planning, and if you're a romantic, all of these little things that you do. I'm showing up, right? And I'm being as pleasant as Toshiba can be. But when it comes to the other stuff, I don't think about some of those things. I just think, get up, get myself together, and go out on this date. Sometimes I get the Uber sent to me. Sometimes I actually don't think a lot about a lot of things. But for you as a man, if I'm sitting in front of you and as you're getting to know me, how quick are you to cut me off? Because I'm going to put the onus on you. When you see that this woman isn't adding value, how quick you're like, bye, see you later.
So to answer the question, I mean, yes, we cut you off pretty quick. But what I've learned that, ladies, y'all are very, very, very great actress. I do a very good job with that.
Oh,
You
oh,
know what I'm
wow.
saying? Y'all can take it all the way until you get what you want, and then the real you come out. So it's a process. It's a game. But sometimes just some girls we don't even make it to a date. After a few
Oh,
conversations, it's just okay, next. So we get them off.
oh.
It's just the ones who know how to play the game very well. It's hard to kind of weed them out because I do a great job acting. Period. Across the board. If you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, you're
That's
right on that one, man. Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, I hate to be like the man just seconding all the motions, but he on it. Like a lot of people are really good actors. You know what I'm saying? And you'll play that role until you get that ring and get that house. And when it don't pan out, you think grass is green on the other side. Like instead of I do, it's like I don't think I can do this no more. Irreconcilable differences. We
Bam.
can, and boom, and there you go. Been there, done that.
I tell you this, as a man who's going through it, I don't wish this on no man to be once you like in your late 40s or once you hit your peak in your life, you have to start over. I don't wish that. I don't want that on no man. I wish that on my enemy to have to start over because it's already hard as a man to get to a certain part in life. But to get to that certain part, and then all of a sudden somebody just take it all away because irreconcilable differences. You know what I'm saying? Like that's it. I didn't cheat on you. I didn't beat on you. I didn't none of that. But because you're not happy, you can just have me start back to zero. Yeah, that's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy.
I think that irreconcilable differences is probably the worst thing that the courts did in terms of putting it as a divorce, because before you actually had to prove, why you're getting a divorce. And it was usually because it was cheating, lying, like there was kind of a list of things, and then irreconcilable differences became, I'm just not happy. I don't feel like being married anymore. And that's not enough. Like I have to be honest, even as a woman. It's funny. I was having a conversation with someone. It was just yesterday, actually, about my marriage, and he asked me, he's like, how do you really feel about getting divorced? And I said, listen, I said I have no issues with my husband, and I wish him nothing but the best. I said the only problem I have with him is he was mad at me for him hurting me. That I got divorced because you hurt me, and you hurt me by cheating and having children, right? Like, and even as much as I'm the product of an affair, I didn't want that for my life. That was not supposed to be my story. So I said, if I'm upset at him for anything, is he was upset at me for leaving for my own peace. Like you hurt me. Going back to Monica and the acknowledgement part, like you couldn't even acknowledge the hurt, because if I'm honest, I might have stayed if the baby's gonna keep popping up, right? Like it was you're being, not only were cheating, you were being irresponsible with your cheating, and how many more women are gonna knock on my door and say, hey, and I was like, I also had a responsibility to my daughter to say to her, that's not acceptable. So once the first kid came, I was like, okay, we can deal with this. Once number 2 and 3 were a possibility, I was like, we gotta cut it. So, you know what I'm saying? And as much as I didn't put, I actually didn't put, I don't remember what I put on my divorce. I don't remember what I put, but I actually did not even put that he cheated, because I didn't actually even want that on the court record, believe it or not. I was like, if anybody ever looked up our court records, even in divorcing him, there was still a part of me, because he was my husband, right? He chose me to be his wife. I wanted to protect him. And I didn't even want to put on paper, like, I'm actually divorcing his ass because he cheated and had some babies. I left all of that out. It was kind of one of those, like, a wash, whatever the case. I don't think I put irreconcilable difference. I'd have to find out what my lawyer had put on it. But it was something where I didn't have to actually reveal the reason for the divorce, because I was like, I'm going to protect you even in our divorce. Anyway, that's kind of my story there. It is almost time for our dating tips. And as, again, Jeff, the marriage person, I would like a marriage tip from you, because I think Twins and I can both agree that's where we are focused on. As much as Twins has recently gotten divorced, I love the fact, Twins, that you are still once again open to marriage. And I think that's, a lot of people take that part for granted, because I have met 2 types of divorced men. Some who are just like, listen, my first marriage didn't work, but my God, I would love to try this again. And there's a second type that's like, fuck that bitch, fuck all of them bitches.
Hey, listen, that was going for a little bit. All right, I'm just mad right now. I'm back. You had that moment, you get the guy do all that, you be mad at the motherfucker. But afterwards, I'm just mad right now, but I'm good now. I'm back. Because I know when I get married again, so death do us part, instead.
That's what I said. I said the second marriage, I said, you get mad, go to the next room. Like, what are we talking about? I am 45, going to be 46 years old this year. I am not doing this over again. I got one marriage left in me. If you get mad, if you want to go in the next room, go in the next room. But when it's time to go to bed, we're sleeping in the same bed. I'm not playing that bitch. Not at this big age. Go be mad, do whatever you need to do in your man cave. But when it's like 11:30 and it's snuggle time, get over your madness and let's go to sleep. Because we are too old to be talking about we out here being 70 years old or 60 years old and divorcing. Papa, sit down. Go sit down, Papa. We're gonna be okay. So that's what I gotta say, dear future husband. There is no divorce over here. That's all I'm saying. Okay, so it is time for dating tips. And Jeff, again, as you are the guest tonight, we would love for you to give our viewers who are hoping to one day, once again, walk down the aisle a marriage tip.
Well, I'll say it like this. I'm kind of piggyback on what both of y'all said because I've been where Twin is and I've been where you are, Toshiba. And it's like this second marriage I'm in. We, like I said, we have those hard conversations, and like you said, well, hey, I didn't get well. Okay, my marriage tip for the night is don't get married. I didn't get married to get a divorce.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. So on this second one, like you said, you get mad. Hey, you get the couch, I get the bed. Hey, but we gonna be all right in the morning. You know what I'm saying? There's no looking for an option. Well, nah. So just I'm gonna say this, like I said on the first time I came on here, like have those tough conversations. Even like the lady in the video that we watched earlier at the beginning of the show. That's a conversation that need to be had. Hey, you got these, and like I said, that might be that man's hobby. Like Twin said about the guys being at home gaming. It's a lot of money sitting home with the headphones on playing games is money in that. So it's like, hey, if that man is hobby, he ain't out running the streets.
That part.
We have hobbies too, besides the hard work, taking care of the family, providing, protecting, all that. Sometimes that's our release. Collecting comic books, cards, playing the video game, just chilling, just be his peace and have those conversations.
I love that. Can I ask a follow-up question, Jeff, if you don't mind?
Go ahead.
I'm just curious to know, again, now that you've done this the second time, do you feel like and I'm going to call it a vetting process because it is a vetting process. Did you feel like your vetting process was different with your second wife than your first? And if so, what was different?
Yes, it was. Like I was telling, me and my wife talked about it. My second wife, when you're in love, you overlook those red flags. You know what I'm saying? Because like, nah, this can't be happening. She wouldn't do this or whatever. Nah, you gotta address those red flags from the beginning. So like in this process, and we sat down and we talked, me and my wife. We said, we're gonna learn from our past mistakes in our previous marriage because her husband divorced her. So it's like we're going to learn from no mistakes. So instead of going to bed with this anger, hey, we're gonna talk this out. And we don't feel like time. Hey, we're gonna visit this conversation in the morning right now. We might say some things you might not mean or whatever. So hey, we're just gonna sleep on this, and so address those red flags and again have those tough conversations.
I love that, and I think I would add to that because this is something I said I'm definitely instituting in my next marriage. Let's talk about what we would do in the bad times, right? Like it's so easy to talk about, oh my God, it's great times and this is what happened. In our very worst place, how would we want to handle this scenario? And let's try to make sure we don't get there, but let's be respectful even if we get there. Like and what is the point where I know that you will go? Like what is the line that I would cross, maybe unknowingly, that would say to you, it's time to go? Because sometimes we unknowingly cross lines, and I think we talked about this on another show, and we can never go back. Because our man or that woman has gotten to that point and they're like, you know what? Everything changed from that moment. They might stay in the relationship, but it could be the smallest thing. And they're like, you know what? I'm out because you did this like 3 years ago and I've never forgiven you for it. So I think let's really talk through those what if scenarios and be open and honest. So definitely love that. Love that. I see 2 dating tips here. Mr. Then Jack Spade, and then Twin will go, I will go, and then we'll be the end of the show. Mr. who always keeps it real if you are new to the show. Okay, so Mr. and Mrs. says dating tip. You're not good enough the way you are. You need to improve yourself beyond what you are right now to get the results you want. Everyone has to do this work. Stop making excuses for you not to do it.
All right.
Message.
Message.
Not Jeff tonight again coming through with the message. Okay, Jack Spade also has a dating tip. So Jack Spade has dating tip number 23. Ladies, treat the dating game like LeBron James. Your stats don't mean crap because we the fellas know you're moving in desperation. Just pipe the lip surface and dribble.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Look, Jack.
Twins. Jack, you know I got nothing for you. Thank you.
Dating tip for the single men that want to be in relationships, that want to be married. I would say when you're out there dating a lady, try to date a lady who has a hobby. Just to wrap in, just to circle in the topic today in with the date tip. Try to date someone who has a hobby, because if she has a hobby, then she'll understand the hobby that you have as well. Because having a hobby and something doing that takes time, takes patience, and you should be able to relate. So maybe she has a collection of makeup that may work. I'm joking. I'm sorry. I try to, but anyway, just try to make sure she has her own hobby. And the reason why I say that, because you're not her main. You're not the reason why she. It's not your job to make her happy, right?
That part.
You can add to it, but she should have a hobby that she does that makes her happy. So, like the guy who buy comic books or trading cards, that makes him happy. The guy who plays video games, that makes him happy. The guy who goes out and go to the gym, it makes him happy and make him look good. Like, you have to understand, like, guys do things that remind them as being kids. Because as kids, that's when we had the most fun in our life. Our childhood was, we all can go, wish we was, back in our young teenage age, playing basketball, football, sports, trading cars, whatever. So that's why we still do those things now as grown men, because that's what things that make us happy. I'm done.
That was such a good one. Message. That was so good. That was actually so good. I think that is the easiest way for ladies to get that. Like, men are doing things that make them happy. Go find something that also makes you happy. Before we continue, twins, do you have an additional 5 minutes? I know you get it early, but we have a new viewer and they have a question I'd like to tackle after my dating tip.
Yeah, let's go.
Perfect. Okay, so my dating tip is, ladies, when you date a busy man, expect him to be busy. I know it's a simple one, but it's a real thing, right? As ladies, we want a man who is out there being ambitious and goal-oriented and driven and all of those different things. A lot of the times, ladies, those men are not necessarily going to have the time. We hope that they will. And some days they're going to be able to spend lots of time with us, and other times they're out there grinding. And despite what the internet might say, it is actually not easy to make over 6 figures a year. Okay, it is not every job that comes out. Men are making 135, 140, 150. It's not easy. It took work. They worked really hard, and when they get to that point that they're making it, they want to maintain it or make more. So they might be busy. So stop getting mad at the successful man you're dating because he's too busy to spend time, but he supports you, but you should stop being busy. That's not going to work. Find somebody who's got time for you if that's an issue. That's my dating tip.
That's a good one.
Thank you so much. Oakley has a question. Welcome, Oakley. Welcome to the show. Okay. This is online dating, and consider I feel like I'm the queen of online dating at this point. I might answer this question. Hey, do y'all have advice on how to talk to someone when you're online dating? As in keeping the conversation going and when it is appropriate to meet them in real life. So I have been online dating before online dating is a thing. I think, let me start with the first question, the last question first. It is appropriate when you both deem it it's appropriate, right? It could be, there's some people who start talking at 8 o'clock in the morning and are already on a date at 7 o'clock that night, right? Because for whatever reason, the conversation is going back and forth so well that they decide that they want to just skip all the BS and go straight to the meeting, because the chemistry in person, there's nothing like that chemistry in person. You can have the greatest chemistry online, right? You can video call, you can text back and forth, you can do all of that. But there, once you get to that in person, there's something missing. Now, with respect to how to keep the conversation going, ask questions that require expansion and see how they respond. If you ask closed-ended questions, and closed-ended questions are those that are a yes or a no, right? Don't avoid those types of questions. You know, maybe something about, tell me about your childhood. That might be too intense, but I'm very open. But where they have to expand, like, you know, if they mention something about work, oh my God, tell me more about that, right? And it allows them to expand and keep that dialogue going. I would avoid any type of short form, how are you, what's up? Like, we're grown-ups here, like, don't do that. But if you find that it's a one-sided conversation, let it go, move on. Don't spend a lot of time on one-sided conversation. But I think if you're really interested, the interest is peaked. My way is I go from talking over online straight to video call. I skip the whole voice call. I skip the whole texting. I go from, here's my number, to we're on video call so you can see me and you see what I look like, and then I go to meeting in real life. That's me personally. Twins, I'd love to hear your thoughts.
Okay. I mean, you kind of said a lot of good things in your conversation, or things you were saying. So that's, I would say, is be intentional with the conversation that you have. My thing is, what are your reasons for online dating? Are you dating for, you know what I'm saying, for a quick hit? Or are you looking for somebody long term? Like, you have to figure out why are you there, and then why. Then once you realize why you're there, then have an intentional conversation. And as those conversations keep going, the conversation can keep going regardless if you're being intentional. And then when it's me in real life, that's gonna happen if the conversation is really good. Because if you're both hitting it off very well, y'all want to meet each other ASAP. And like to see what just said, video call, FaceTime, Google Meet, whatever it is, that's cool too. Because sometimes you can have that conversation and you can see somebody and you can see the facial reaction. So that's another key. So yeah,
I love that.
Yeah.
Love that. And I'm going to add to that for the ladies. Ladies, that word intentionality is so important. When a man is intentional, you know. So like, we need to stop acting as if men are complicated human beings. They're actually not. They're really not that complicated, because when he likes you, he will tell you. So I'll give you a scenario that happened to me. Met somebody online, had a great, wonderful conversation with them. We live in different countries. Welcome to my life. I date a lot of people who live on your side of the border. And so within a couple hours of that conversation, he sent me a screenshot of the flight that he had booked to come to Toronto to meet me in person. That is called intentionality. That happened in the span of 24 hours.
Hey, as men, when we see something, we like it, we go for it. Just that simple. We don't need a timetable for it.
I mean, the flight wasn't like the next day, but for a couple of weeks, but he did it. I didn't ask for it. He did it. So let's stop pretending that we don't know when men are not intentional about it. And I'd love to hear your thoughts, Jeff, as again, the married person.
I agree. You have to be intentional. Like, are you here for the hookups, or you know what I'm saying? Like, and I agree also to see with like ask those questions, that allow them to elaborate or expand on what you're trying to get to know. The yes, no, the quick answer. You're not gonna get nowhere like that, and you got to know why you're there. Or then, what is your? I guess what are your intentions? Like, are you socially awkward? Where dating is your only option or whatever? Because while y'all was talking, I just thought about the show Catfish. People can talk a good game online, and then when you meet them in person, they're horrible. They're not who they say they were. They just maybe said all the right things to check the right boxes to get you to meet them. So, and that got to be worried about your safety too. So it's a lot that goes into online dating. It's like when we was coming up, man, you had to actually talk to a person. You don't know if you will get shot down or whatever. And get rejected. But hey, that was a part of it. Is so. And I think people, these especially like the younger generation, I be like, man, y'all don't interact. They just text or do this, and like, man, y'all, I don't know. I'm married, so the dating game this day and age is weird to me. So I don't know. But you definitely have to be intentional, and you have to worry about your safety as well, and know why you're doing it.
That's true.
Love that. And I would say, hopefully, I'm hoping that you're still there. Like, don't waste time. Jeff, can you mute yourself for a second if you don't mind? Oakley, don't waste time. I'm big on not. I'm just gonna put Oakley's question back up. Um, don't waste a lot of time on someone who has already shown disinterest. I think a lot of the time, and I'm gonna speak as a woman, we show clear disinterest by answering questions with one answer or being very short or whatever the case might be, right? We might want to juggle a few guys at a time just to see kind of who might take us out, what the kind of best offer is for that week. And I'm not gonna lie, this stuff happens, right? So if a person is showing clear disinterest, just cut it, leave it alone, because even as women, we entertain the men we want to be entertained by. And if we don't want to be entertained by, we're not.
And one thing that Jeff said, which was definitely spot on, and this is for ladies and men. And when y'all do decide to meet in real life, make sure you go to a nice public place. Let's not make the first meetup at someone's house.
That's hard.
Okay? Even though as men we are risky, but I'm just saying it shouldn't be at the house the first time, in my opinion.
And listen, and if you don't feel safe, share your location. Listen, I share my location is shared with several people, and when I'm meeting someone, people know their first and last name. I give them their phone number. I tell them where we're going. Like, and honestly, for safety reasons, there's actually an app called Life 360, ladies and gentlemen. There's an app called Life 360 that you can download, and you can add a circle of people. You don't both have to have iPhones or Androids. It works on all of the different devices. And so you get yourself on that app, and people can actually know when you're moving if that is a concern, because it is risky, right? Like, online dating can be risky, and you should absolutely take every precaution, but it also could be you meeting the love of your life. So I'm a big promoter of online dating, because I don't believe that my partner lives in a 50-kilometer radius of where I am, and so I'm very open, but also be mindful. So Oakley, we hope that answer the question. And Mr. is right. It's not real until you meet in person, and that's the truth. You could be talking for 7 months until you meet in person and see that chemistry, that like real chemistry. When you're goofy or are they serious? Like, nothing beats that. So I'm a person, I don't tend to waste a lot of time. It's just like, if we're gonna meet, let's do it within a reasonable amount of time that we're both comfortable with. But I'm not stretching and extending months and months and months and months. Like, we're not do that unless you're in Zimbabwe and you need to get a permit to come to Canada. Like, we're not about to do this. If you live in New York, my dude, like, what are we talking about? So that is that for the night. I want to thank you all. This was such an amazing conversation. We kept putting up a little later than I wanted. Jeff, thank you for coming on and sharing your wisdom.
Appreciate y'all. Until next time.
Until next time, I'm just going to take Jeff off the stage here. And of course, Mr. As usual, thank you for coming on. Jack, of course, for the laugh. Oakley, thank you for joining. And Monica, we had a woman tonight. I feel so amazing. We had a female tonight, Monica. We hope you come back. Oakley, we hope the same. King Tash Court, I also saw that he was in the chat. Thank you, everybody. We appreciate you. Next week, I will say I will be in Mexico. So we are going to have this show, and I'm praying the Wi-Fi is strong in Mexico. In Tulum, we should be fine. Oh, God. We should be fine in Mexico, but the show will go on even while I'm in Mexico. The link will be in the chat once again, as you saw Jeff and Mr. Duan tonight. If you'd like to join us, please click on the link in the chat. And if you would like to have a particular topic that we should discuss, email me at fyftheshow@gmail.com. That's it. Thank you. Good night.